What's going on? A Plus's Nerd Mixes. It is your boy Indy Uchiha, and we back after a short hiatus, due to basketball, among other things. And just I think this might be the normal time they take off. I'm bringing you the episode review for season 2, episode 15 of Batwoman, Armed and Dangerous. People, Armed and Dangerous. We know last episode ended with Luke having a confrontation with the Crows, Agent Rumscrow. No, I'm sorry, I don't know what that dude's name was, Ruffalo or whatever from Captain America Winter Soldier. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But this dude reminds me, Tavaroff reminds me of him so much. Like, I'm just waiting on Tavaroff to become Crossbones. It's crazy. But after dealing with what happened to Luke and him being shot and on death's bed, we get the backlash, everything that's going on with that, whether it's the situation of the Crows, how we have Batwoman and friends dealing with the situation, and of course Alice doesn't care because Alice is dealing with her own situation. Enigma's dead. As we know, Enigma was killed by Ocean because he didn't want Alice to be able to bring back Kate, because Kate doesn't care about Alice, and he loves Alice so much he wants her to realize that her family will never forgive her for what she done, and he's the one that truly loves her. Alice, wants it all. She wants the best of both worlds. She wants her sister back and the person who loves her. So, it's like, if you really love me, you will want me to have it all. I love that Alice is coming to the realization, especially after having a conversation with her steppy, her stepsister, that she does deserve to have everybody, no matter what they've been through, deserves to have love. So it's crazy. This little scene, it wasn't much Alice, but you really feel like what they're doing with Alice is they're setting up with, I guess, the rest of this season, or let me be in particular, the rest of what Commander Kane, the rest of what Jacob Kane's story is going to be in Batwoman, because it's starting to feel like this could be Jacob's last season. With the way everything's been, written. So with Enigma dead, she doesn't have the password she needs to unlock Kate's mind. So she's going through all the paperwork and stuff like that to try to find it, just to try to find out what Roman, aka Black's Mask, obsession with the Kane family actually is. While doing this, come to find out, when Ocean is finna get rid of the body, we find out that Enigma is either somebody who is like a daughter to the Riddler, or is actually the Riddler's daughter. When they see the Kane, they show the Riddler's Kane. I think that was a amazing call, to one of Batman's, to me, one of my favorite Batman villains, one of the favorite, people in his little catalog of evil people that are always trying to take the city down. I just always loved the Riddler and how he was real big on just, I like the riddles. I like the riddles and stuff, people. Leave me alone. I like trying to solve the riddles. The big thing about this episode was Luke being in a state of a coma. My homie was in a coma. He was battling with his subconscious, traveling through, having a conversation with Bruce, seeing his dad, Lucius Fox, in the background, and coming to find out that if he was to go talk to his dad, that would be him accepting death. He has to make a decision on whether he wants to live or die. Now, Luke's been through a lot. Luke's been through his father getting killed over some BS by a crow. Steadily being, even though he has an Ivy League like education and is like a smart, intelligent, working, never had a friggin' parking ticket, always pays his bills on time, so he's still a black man in America, and he still has to deal with wearing that skin. He's always going to be on the on the bottom half of what's going on. And coming to that realization, he decides that he doesn't want to fight no more. He gives up, and he just wants to see his dad. You know what I'm saying? Having his dad take front, he just wants to see his dad. And no matter what his subconscious is trying to tell them, that if there's more for you to do out there, the subconscious doesn't even fight him. You know what I'm saying? After that, just gives up. So he wants to be with his dad, man. The whole time that's going on, you got Batwoman and all them Team Batwoman running around trying to do what they can do to save Luke, man. And they're getting trumped at every blockage at every turn of the road. They're getting trumped in what they're trying to do. And this is what's interesting to me. This episode was entertaining, but as hard as, especially with the climate is today, and a lot of people talk about social justice warriors, SJWs, and how they don't like the show because it's catering to those people who are social justice warriors. No, the show is catering to what people are going through in real life. If you can't wake up and see that this show is a mirror of things that are happening, that there are a lot of comics out there. If you want to look at the X-Men, the Professor X and the Magneto, you know what I'm saying, dynamic always being related to Martin Luther and Malcolm X, and the oppression of mutant kind when it comes to humans looking down at mutants and everything. There's always been something that relates to what's going on in the real world in these comics, whether it's people looking down on somebody's size, shape, you know what I'm saying, fat shaming, whether it's somebody trying to stand up and represent just being a woman, that women can be powerful and be superheroes, as case in fact a Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Zatanna, you know what I'm saying, all that have to shed the sexy skirt and stuff like that and actually be able to wear pants, you know what I'm saying, and still be looked at as a superhero, be more than just eye candy. There's a lot going on, and this episode and this particular series, especially with the main protagonist being not just now somebody who's part of the LGBTQ community, but a Black woman that's part of the LGBTQ community, means a lot to a lot of people. So when they touch on things like this, just because it rubs you the wrong way, or you may not like it, because there's a lot of shows and TV shows that does a lot of stuff that I don't like, but it might not be for you. It's meant to address, whoever wrote the episode means it to address atrocities and things that are going on in the world, and this is the way they view it, and this is the way they feel like they can help bring attention to it. And the actresses and actors in this show acting out what is written have done an amazing job. Now, though, a lot of the script this season has been convoluted and at times just didn't know where it was going, when they get to episodes like this where they're dead on in what they're going, this is when Batwoman is at its best. The episode started off with Commander Kane looking into what was going on with Luke, right? Bringing in Tavaroff, bringing in his lackeys, interviewing them with a panel to try to figure out what's going on. Basically, Tavaroff says that he heard a car alarm. He approached the guy, looking suspicious, asked him what he was doing. He pulled a gun. When he pulled a gun, Tavaroff, being a crow or whatever, some type of law enforcement, decided to go ahead and shoot. But everybody that watched that final episode knows exactly what happened. So it's a cover-up. It's a cover-up that's happened before. It's a cover-up that Jacob has let happen before, that he's done himself. So it starts at the top. So it's going to have to start with Jacob Kane holding himself accountable. So basically, Tavrov's lackeys doctor the body cam footage that showed Tavrov shooting Luke after Luke pulled a gun. And then, for some apparent reason, I don't know why, the footage that is uploaded to the Crow servers deletes at 3 a.m. So the only way to prove that Luke didn't have a gun, because they're airing this doctored footage on the news, on television, so everybody's looking at Luke pulling a gun, somebody who's never been in trouble before, is to get that doctor footage before 3 a.m. That's crazy. That's crazy. Need that metadata, people. Why you're erasing footage, why you're erasing documentation like that from body cam footage at 3 a.m. every day, I have no idea. That didn't make no sense to me, but it did make a compelling plot for trying to clear Luke's name. So I was cool with that aspect of it. That gave us a trigger, a timeline. You know what I'm saying? Like in a video game, when you're playing in video games and they'd be like, get to the exit in under a minute, and you got a minute to try to traverse the area in order to get to the exit. It was kind of that type of thing. So they asked Sophie for help. Sophie, who just quit the codes, just quit the Crows. She's the one that lets them know the data gets deleted at 3 a.m. I thought at first, like, man, Sophie quit, had a horrible time, because this is something they could use her help. You know what I'm saying? That they could really use her right now. So Sophie comes up with a plan in order to get the data, right? She's gonna go talk to Jacob. She's gonna start Jacob looks at Sophie as like his chosen daughter. He chose Sophie over Kate, right? When it comes to being that person that's the ideal of how he wants his daughter to act. Okay. That's one of the reasons why she was so scared to come out. Jacob didn't look like he was happy to see her. And he didn't really, I think, respond too well on Sophie approaching him and telling him that the way he's running the Crows is wrong, and trying to really tell him about Tavarov's issues, right? Like really look at who Luke was. Does this look like something Luke would do? You know what I'm saying? Tavarov's fight back was he had just got released from jail early, but did you even check to see what he got put in jail for? Because to be totally honest with you, that wasn't his fault. At first, he was actually defending the police officers, trying, you know what I'm saying, trying to diffuse the situation so it wouldn't escalate any further. He got thrown in for obstruction of justice, which was BS when he got thrown in anyway. And if Tavarov would have paid attention, there were they had to let him go, you know what I'm saying, before they got sued. They knew he arrested him under false pretenses. So that's interesting to me. After Sophie has a conversation with Jacob and gets him questioning what's going on, you know what I'm saying, talking about the excessive force that Tavarov always uses, and then brings up a case about a rapist that was finna get off on a technicality, and then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, evidence popped up that couldn't be refuted, just all of a sudden. Back then to Sophie, it didn't matter because the bad guy got put in jail, but it wasn't justice, right? And she could document for 5 years of stuff like this happening over and over again, right? So Sophie on the way out plugs this big old friggin' looks like a flash drive. It's like that big, plugs into the back computer, because nobody's going to notice that big red blinking light on the back of a monitor to get the data she needs in order to be able to take over the local like video cams, so she can direct Batwoman into where to go into the server room in order to be able to get the metadata to clear Luke's name, right? And at the same time, Mary was on her way to the hospital to try to to try to administer a serum that was made from the desert rose in order to heal Luke. But two crows standing there wouldn't let her in, even though she was Jacob Kane's daughter, because Jacob Kane said nobody goes in, nobody goes out, no matter who it is. Right? So Sophie gets Wolf Spider, which I love as a callback because I really like the episode with that dude in it. Wolf Spider ends up infiltrating Luke's room and giving him the serum. So looks like the Bat team. This is what I liked about this, right? Because there's been episodes of The Flash, episodes of Black Lightning, episodes of other shows when situations occur and it's clear that if you call for help from anybody, that the situation could be solved. So a call back to Wolf Spider, who actually, you know what I'm saying, wants to do things for good, help out friends and stuff like that, to help save Luke, was very interesting to me, because I'd be waiting for the Flash to call anybody when he needs help. You know what I'm saying? He knows everybody and can bring anybody in a flash. He can run to Star Labs, not Star Labs, but he can run to wherever he ran to and pick something up. You know what I'm saying? And bring it back to use it. It's amazing to me he can't run and go pick up Diggle or run and go pick up, you know what I'm saying, Black Lightning or something like that for some help. That'd be really interesting to me and help solve problems, especially the one-off villains that aren't a villain that's going to be there for like the entire episode. So what happens with Jacob is he goes through his head what's going on. He decides to address Tavaroff about the issues he has. And while he's doing that, Tavaroff knocks him out, right? Because Tavaroff is just ruthless. He's unafraid to kill. You know what I'm saying? The whole confrontation with him goes bad, and he decides that he's going to inject Jacob Kane with a lethal doses of snake bite in order to kill him, in stages as he just OD'd and I guess try to start a hostile takeover of the Crows, because I'm pretty sure he would have been the next in line to be in charge, because those on the board with Jacob seem like they really, really like Tavaroff, right? So while Batwoman is looking for the information she needs to save Luke, to get him off, Sophie sees Jacob being attacked, being dragged off. So she convinces Batwoman to leave, to not get that information, to get Luke off and go save Jacob Kane, right? Ends up working in their favor, because after she saves Jacob Kane, knocks everybody out, which, to be honest with you, it was one of the cleanest fight scenes that I've seen this season. Her coming through the window, knocking everybody out, taking the pin, stabbing at the dude's hand, cutting the light back on just so Tavaroff could see her, and then taking out Tavaroff. Man, especially earlier after they had the fight and she was finna take him down and he called his buddy and she got hit by the car, by the SUV. Man, I know that had to feel good. And then look at Jacob and just tell him to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And then Jacob ends up later holding a press conference to announce that Tavaroff and crew have been removed, that Luke was innocent, even though the real footage is now gone, that he's going to testify against, and he also accepts responsibility for the failures of the Crows, and then announces that he's disbanding the Crows. I was really digging that, especially in the climate of what's going on now. I understand why they don't want to follow possibly the law enforcement, especially with the storyline they had, because it's hitting a little bit too close to home. But with me, reality, putting that little bit of reality in a show, to me is good, because people need to see what's happening on the screen so they can relate it to what's happening in the real world, and maybe they'll wake up a little bit more of what's going on. But hey, like I said before, Luke decided that he wanted to die. Luke was ready to go. He doesn't want to deal with anything of what's going on in this world anymore, right? So he says he wants to see his father in the subconscious, and seeing his father in the subconscious means that he's accepting death. Desert Road Kids game. Luke is brought back to life against his will. This is going to be interesting to me, because in a universe where Luke doesn't want to live in it, where he chooses to die and be with his dad. But then the Desert kicks in. He comes back to the land of the living, where he doesn't want to be. So Luke's character development from here on is going to be very, very interesting. The fact that Batwoman is moving away from the Crows, an organization that has done nothing but cause problems, which has assaulted Batwoman and never seemed to take a stand against everything that was going on bad in the city. If it wasn't trying to stop Alice, they really didn't seem like they were trying to do anything. But where Luke goes emotionally, and that, I can't remember the actor's name, but the dude that played Luke killed it this episode. And of course, Rachel killed it as Alice this episode, like hands down. The little screen time she had, she was giving it, because she, even at the end of the episode, I don't know how she keeps getting into this parking garage, is in Jacob Kane's car and lets him know what's going on with Black Mask and KK. So on Hero Report earlier, we had a question from AJ that asked, when do you think everybody's going to find out that Cersei is KK? And I was like, hopefully they'll wait to the end of the season, but knowing the CW, probably next 2 episodes. I guess we know how the CW does. But man, following Luke's near-death experience always leaves some type of scars. You know what I'm saying? Some type of lasting impact. And the fact that he was brought back against his will should be a story it should be a hard point for the rest of the season, and seeing how Luke accepts what's going on and how his friends and their selfishness wanting him there, which anybody's going to try to say they friend. It's not like he could tell them, hey, don't revive me, or anything like that. But it's going to be interesting to see if he looks at them as being selfish when it comes to this. Every episode of this season has not been perfect, but every episode has been good. This is probably the close to perfect episode that they had, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed where this mid-season return episode is setting the future of Batwoman to go, and where this show could easily possibly now be the staple of what we're going to have with CW superhero shows in the future. So you guys let me know what you thought about this episode of Batwoman, Season 2, Episode 15, Armed and Dangerous, in the comments below. Do not forget to like and subscribe, people. That's right. Share it too. Let your friends know, especially if they're into these shows or you're trying to get them into these shows and they just want to know something about the show. You can always pop them in one of the reviews to let them know how we do, man. Don't forget, A+ does have a Patreon. That's right. A+ Hero Report, A+ Marvel Phenomenal, and A+ Opinions has a Patreon. So show your support at patreon.com/A+ Opinions. We got 3 different tiers, $1, $5, and $10 tiers. You get access to exclusive Discord and audio-only versions of the podcast you can download and take. So we all know you shouldn't be watching video while driving, so you can listen to the podcast while you are on the road, man. I really dug this episode, and I'm really looking forward to the Flash Tuesday night, guys. I'm glad our shows are back, and I'm glad to be here with y'all. So as always, until next time, keep it A+. This has been a Nerd Mix. Indy out.